Hello,
Hello,
I'm Wayne Anthony,
and I'm Jude Savage.
and welcome to our podcast channel,
Quest.
The Search for Truth.
And in tonight's episode, we're going to be discussing...
How to improve your psychic ability.
Ooh.
Let's get something straight from the start. We don't use the word powers
Or gift.
or gift. Why?
Because, well, a power, you say you have my powers.
Oh, I've got a power over you. I'm so
Yeah,
powerful.
I'm so powerful.
I'm so of my own ass. You know, that I'm going to say I've got a power that you don't have. And a gift?
It's not a gift, is it?
Well, you can give a gift back.
Exactly. If it was a gift, we'd know what this week's lottery numbers were.
I'd be doing exactly what I do with her presents that she sends me to every year at Christmas.
Giving them
Passing
back.
them on.
That's why I give you things that I want.
Oh, okay. But I
Figured it out.
Yeah, well, I pass them back because you know what? I don't want them. If it's and certain gifts I do, but certain gifts, mostly gifts that I receive, I don't because I'm quite picky. So no, we don't like the word powers, and we don't like the word
Gift.
So how do you improve your psychic ability? And you'll always hear us say ability. Occasionally we'll slip in word powers or whatever. That's just a slip of the tongue. But mostly we'll refer to it as
An ability.
an ability.
It's a thing.
And that's what you have. You have an ability that some people don't have. And some people can draw better pictures than you. And some people can play music better than you.
Yeah.
And some people can bake better than you, can dress better than you. You know, some people have an ability for certain things, for arts or crafts, or tends to be on the creative side, doesn't
Yes.
it? Or practical, actually. No, not just that. Some people have the ability to be better managers or manage people who have the personality skills or interpersonality skills.
Yeah, and you don't say, well, that's your powers.
Yeah. I'm your manager and I have a power.
Yeah, I guess in some things like musical ability, they might go, well, you've got a gift.
There are gifts.
Yeah.
There are people with gifts, and I don't dispute that whatsoever. It's good that you made that actually clear, because there are some people that are just gifted in certain. We hate them.
Yeah.
They're so gifted. We just like, why are you so gifted? And I'm just an average chav. And they do the music and cooking
things
as well,
like that,
in lots of different areas, and mathematics. You know, people have that gift of being able to add up numbers. I can't add up.
No, I can't.
Shite. You are good at maths, actually.
No.
Yes.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do. And that's what makes it an ability, not a gift, because people with that ability don't ever see it as a gift anyway.
Yeah, so what is psychic? Oh, God. How do you actually define that?
Well, you see a lot of people running around these days, and there's an awful lot of them. I think 90% of people going, I'm a psychic medium.
Well, they're two different things.
Completely. Utterly. They're not psychic.
No.
They might be mediumistic, they might be telepathic, they might be intuitive. But they're very, very rarely psychic. Psychic, I think, is always the element of the supernatural ability to be able to see the future, perceive the future, the past or the present even. And mediums just mediate. They mediate between, I've got your granddad here. He smoked a pipe. He's wearing a waistcoat. He's got a cardigan on as well. And he liked to grow cabbages and green beans. And it's like, I hear that all the time. I've got your grandma here, she's got a pot of jam and an apron on. And she had a teapot, didn't she? Did she have a teapot in the kitchen? You went in the kitchen, it's on the right, and there's a key to you. Stop. Because that's just not being a psychic. That's being, you could be right. I mean, a lot of them are right. They're intuitives. And they intuitively sense things about your life or the person's life that has passed. But a psychic will go into your future, they'll go into your past, they'll go into your present, they'll go where they need to. They're like the Miss Marple of the psychic world. They'll sniff out where they need to be, whether that's with seeing or hearing or sensing, or they have so many different abilities going off at once. Yeah, but how do you improve that? How do you get to that point?
Well, I think that's probably what people want to know, because people who say, well, I have this, this strange thing that happens to me, and lots of people have. Let's talk about a very basic level. Okay, so lots of people know, they'll say, well, I was thinking about my cousin I've not spoken to for ages, and randomly she popped into my head, and then she texted me. Or I knew that was, or I had that feeling that was going to happen. and this, or I knew, and lots of you will say, well, even if you're facing this way and there's somebody who's not in your peripheral vision, you know that there's somebody across the room who's looking at you, and if you feel that.
It's usually a weirdo.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10. And you want to turn around and you know that somebody is looking.
And you turn around and they are.
And they are like that, and you wish you never did. So there's that basic sort of level, and lots of people go, well, how do I harness this? How can I improve upon it? How can I sort of...
How do you take what you've got and make it more?
Make it more. Well, there's lots of different ways.
There's lots of different ways. Growing up, some of the ways we used to use a candle and a flame. And so in a darkened room, and so we'd all be sat in different corners of the room. Weird Irish family. We'd all be sat in different corners. Not all of us. It's probably me, my brother, and my sister. Be in different corners. So Father would say to us, look into the flame and just keep looking at the flame and hold that, look into the candle flame for a minute, not a long time. It seemed a long time, but a minute. And then he'd say, and blow the candles out, and it'd be a blackened room. The fire would be on in the background. You'd blow the candle out, and he'd say, close your eyes, and you'd see the candle flame, and you'd say, you keep seeing it, and you keep seeing it, and you keep seeing it, and then it would just fade away because it's in your mind to see it. And then he'd say, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? And we'd say, it's gone now, Pappy. And he'd say, bring it back.
Yes.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Like really in this, I would say aggressive actually. He'd say, bring it back. And we'd be like, what? And you'd concentrate, where's that candle flame? And it would come back and you'd see it. And then after about 20 seconds, not even that, 10 seconds, it would fade away again. And you'd say, what do you see? What do you see? And I'd say, I can't see anything. My sister would say, I see the candle flame. My brother would say, I see the candle flame. And I'd say, I see nothing. He'd say, bring it back.
Okay.
Hold that flame, hold that vision, hold that. And that would go on. So I'm not going to bore you. And he'd say, I can't see anymore. He said, bring it back. And my brother would be like, I can't bring it back. He said, well, that's enough. Light your candles again.
Yes. Practice.
And on we'd go again.
So that's something you can start with, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is hard work, and I used to love it but hate it because he was always like, my father was such a man that you'd want to impress him.
Yeah.
He was so lovely. You'd want to see, but he'd know if you were lying to him. So I can see a candle flame. He'd be like, you little lying, little raggedy. I don't think so. Do it again. Okay. And so you constantly do this, looking into the flame in a darkened room and then blowing it out and then bringing it back. What he was actually doing was trying to improve our psychic ability, and I would suggest to anybody out there that you try this, because bringing back the flame, resummoning the image, as he called it, helps you progressively attune your psychic ability. And also, when you do see a vision, when you have a vision of something happening, when you're doing cards or crystal or palm or whatever, and you see it, and you think, I just saw an event, maybe that was an event at a house where people were having a party, or this was happening and that was happening. It could be something more grim, it could be a death, it could be a murder, it could be anything. You will have the ability to recall the image.
Yes. Because you've practiced that ability.
Practiced that ability, yeah. And the pineal gland in the brain, by the way, which has now been proven scientifically, responds to light. So I think the pineal gland, as we know, and people go on about calcification of the pineal gland, or that the pineal gland is the psychic centre of the brain. It's kind of between here and here, and if you put direct marks down, we'll find the pineal gland. And it's this pine cone shaped thing. Where some people, we're going to go off topic a little bit, where the Anunnaki, the aliens, etc. They come and they all show themselves holding the pine cone, which is very, very similar to the pineal gland. And if you look at some of the monastic stuff, and you look at some of the Pope stuff, the Catholic stuff, the Pope on his it's got a pine cone shaped thing, and the pine cone appears in lots of different references, which is just like the pineal gland. So it's always, and the pineal gland responds to light.
Yeah.
So and then that's what the candle does. That candle flame in the darkness. That's how I think that's the best way to improve your psychic ability. But then you've got things, Jude, like the Xena cards, which you were talking to me about today.
Yeah.
you know, where people use Xena cards, whether you've got the wavy line of the water, the triangle, the circle, or the square, and you know, you can predict which is going to come next.
Yeah.
And then you've got playing cards.
Yeah,
we were
talking about like predicting whether it's going to be red or black.
Yeah,
it's a really simple one.
So if you look at the 52 pack of cards, take out the jokers.
Yeah.
And you go red, black, what you think the next card's going to be, red or black, or red or black. Red on the left pile, black on the right pile. So I think this is going to be red. I think this is going to be red on that pile. I think this is going to be black. I think this is going to be black. I think this is going to be black.
Yeah.
Do that. Try that. And then when they're all done, count them up. You also have to remember with psychic stuff, though, that if you get a really, really bad score, like you get like...
None of them
right, is also apparently a really strong psychic ability. It makes you more what they call a negative psychic. But you need to keep practicing, and you'll find that, you know, I think a score of 30 or more makes you highly intuitive. You know, I usually used to get 40 or more.
Yeah.
But try it, because it's all about listening to your intuition.
Yeah.
It's all about saying, you know, what do I feel this card's going to be? It's going to be red. Okay, I'm going to go red. It's going to be black. No, I feel it's red. So it's learning to listen to what's in here, like what's around the solar plexus, because that's the really important part. Yeah. And Xena cards are the same. If you've not heard of Xena cards, Google it.
Yeah.
And get some. You can make your own. It's not rocket science. But using the black and red system is a way that I grew up with, which was. We used to, well, it was horrible actually, because you'd have a brother or sister sat in front of you and you'd be like, red, they'd be turning the cards, red, no you shit, black, no you crap, oh, no it's red. You know, you did that.
Yeah, doing that in front of somebody is horrible. Do it on your own.
What a div. Keep going.
Call yourself a psychic.
Is that the best you can do? It was very critical, so you always work to be, you know, you were put down, it didn't affect your security very well, but you were also, you'd be coming back, at times you were trying to be like, I can't do this. There were other times you're like, actually, and then you'd focus, and that gave you the challenge. And you know, the times I used to think with a particular sister, because I hated her, I love her really, but she was just such a...
really pedantic about it.
Yes, that's the word. Pedantic. And I'd be like, so I'd really focus, and I'd get like 40. Something. And she'd be like, Leo, we need to say anymore. And I'd be like, because she annoyed me so much. I was like, when I get angry, I use my ability more.
I was just about to say that I've seen you when you're, I was going to say, talk about emotions and how that can affect you. Yeah. And I was going to say, I've seen you angry with people, and all of a sudden, and I notice it as well, your eyes change colour.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, and there's that moment where I think, oh God, they have no idea what's coming next.
Jump back.
Yeah, and I take a step back, because I think they have no, and all of a sudden you go straight to the point, and then you go this and this and this and this,
I'm
and
very lazy as a psychic. Very lazy as a psychic. And when somebody ruffles me, my father used to say to me, he used to be like, you use it as a weapon, It's not how it's meant to be, Your abilities, you don't use your ability like that. I'm like, they're annoying me. And he's like, no, but Jesus, Mary, God forgive me. He said, I didn't realise I was teaching you such a thing. And I'd say, yeah, but Pappy, they annoy me. Yeah, whatever. Because when they annoy me, I'm like, no, actually, that it's like I see things really, really clearly. Yeah. Things you don't want me to see.
You become very succinct and very to the point.
I become cold, and I'm like, no, actually. I've seen you do. And people are going, no, and I'm like,
yeah.
Really?
And that's where I'm sort of taking steps backwards, going, when I look at that person, I think they have no idea what's coming
Because you do get people that just want to be that pedantic.
Yeah, you find that other people, and they don't want to hear, and they're determined to argue with you, and it just gets to the point you go, you know what, that's fine.
But what we're saying is, you've got to really, really trust your intuition. It comes from here. It comes from somewhere around here. I don't know. It comes up from you, doesn't it? And I trust that more than anything because it's never let me down. People let me down all the time. The bus lets me down, for God's sake. You know, the bakery lets me down because I don't have the loaf that I wanted today. Lots of things let me down, but this has never let me down.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The other thing is that you get frequently is people will say to you things like, "Oh, can you tell me this then? Can you tell me?" You're like, what am I? A monkey in a circus?
You put a pound in the slot and the monkey doesn't dance.
Monkey
Is that
dance.
how you think it works?
Yeah.
Well, not with me, it doesn't.
No, and it's also like you can't really control it. It's like some things you don't see.
It makes me go ridiculous.
Yes.
So it makes me go, "Oh, can you tell me?
Tell me this. Tell me that. Tell me that." And you're like, oh.
Can you tell me what colour knickers I'm wearing? No, I've had such questions asked to me.
Really?
Like, yeah, they're purple, but they used to belong to a dead man that used to wear them on a Tuesday night and jack off whilst watching Emmerdale repeats. Because I'm not getting into that with you. If you want to be ridiculous, I'm going to be ridiculous,
exactly.
and I'll go ridiculous because that's what I do. I'm ridiculous, and you can't go that.
Well, I know that's true because I do it as well.
As
yeah, I've had people
because
say
you can
to
ask me ridiculous things, I'm going to respond in a ridiculous way.
Yeah.
And then they'll go, "Oh, can you tell me something about the past?"
No.
Yeah, I can.
I don't want to.
Yeah, you've been hurt, you've been let down, you've had somebody die, you probably had a bad knee at some point, or somebody died of cancer and there was an accident and somebody passed tragically, and why do you want to know about that? I'm not a post-cog.
No.
I'm a pre-cog. Post-cogs will see the past and they'll tell you what they had for tea, what you had for tea in 1984 and what you were wearing, and do you care?
No.
Because you won't even remember. And they'll go, "Oh, what's that?" Well, we're precogs, and you're a precog, and precogs see the future, and future is what it's about, and that's where you want to get with this. So, to advance your psychic ability, to make yourself more commercially sustainable, would you say? Because we're talking about it from a commercial point of view, is practice those things that we've said to you. There's loads of other ways as well. We're not going to bore you with that, but the one thing you need to do is self-belief.
Yeah.
You've got to believe in yourself because they don't.
No. And go with it because there's lots of things that, like you just said, because there's lots of times when I've done, when it's happened to all of us really, when you've done readings for people and I'll say, this is happening, well, I see that. And like you said, people are determined to that. And I don't care. I just think, well, fine, that's up to you. I don't really care. I'm here to tell you what I see.
I do my shit, and that's it.
And that's it. And so I've done that. And like we were talking about one that I did for this guy, and I said, look, there's this court case happening. There's this, that. And he went, no. And I went, okay. And I said, and that's happening. And he's like, no. And I said, right, fine. And I moved on because I thought, do you know what? That's fine. Okay. I said, I'll leave that with you and I move on. And his partner came to me in the break. And when everything that you said was true, where this court case is happening and that is happening and that you said was happening, but he didn't want to say, and I went, right, okay.
And they'll also come back to you afterwards and say, you said such and such and such, and I said I didn't understand it. I did understand it, but no, I didn't want to really say anything to people. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
No, I can't.
Can I?
No.
Tell you any more about it. You missed your opportunity.
Exactly.
And also what comes through a lot as well when we have spirits that come through is like, you got to trust in what you're doing. It's like, I've got this spirit, they're this tall, they did this, they did that, and it'll be blank, nobody will say anything. And then sure enough, 20 minutes later, when you're in your interval, somebody goes, that spirit you were talking about? Yeah. Wonder what's coming next. Oh yeah, well that sounds like my dad because my dad did this and did that and you said he did this and you said they did that. Can you tell me a little bit more? I'm like, no. I sent that spirit back because I got that information. Nobody took it. I can't link with you, so therefore I can't get more information. Because it's really important to have the link, or whether it's tonal or vibrational, or just something. Say no. We don't care if you say no. There's no skin off our nose. If you go, no, I absolutely have nothing, then fine. We'll just send that spirit back because we can't give any more information than that. But you find that an awful lot.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
So really, when it comes to improving your psychic ability, what we're trying to say, and I know you're trying to say this too, Jude, is trust what you're getting.
Yes.
You're getting it for a reason.
Yeah, and you won't trust yourself to begin with.
You're questioning yourself because we don't get the background story, do we?
No, we don't. You're just given this random piece of information, and you think, I don't get this, because you try and make sense of it yourself.
Yeah, of course you do.
And so then you end up talking yourself out of it.
I've stopped doing that, but I don't.
Yeah,
you know,
you don't, but
months
I do.
later, you still do that.
Yeah, I still think
it annoys me about
yeah,
you.
because I just think, I don't. And you were saying to me all the time, yeah, trust what you believe, and I'm like, well, I can't make sense of it. You're like, don't make sense of it.
Well, it's not your information.
Yeah.
My father used to say, it's erased.
Yes.
It's no longer there. It's not your information. Why do you need it?
Yeah.
Pass it on.
Just go with it.
But how do you improve your ability, bringing it back to that? Trust what you're getting. And I think that was the point I was making with that, because, you know, I threw that out there. I don't like throwing out things, actually. I like to be specific to specific people. But this spirit kept coming and going. It couldn't hold what I call the vibration. And I was like, oh, do I give it? Don't I give it? You know, it's a bit vague. I don't like being vague. You don't either. I know you don't. And I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to give it anyway because it belongs to somebody and I don't want it, because if you don't give it, it stays with you. So I gave it out.
Yeah.
And she took that straight away. And so it's trusting what you're feeling, and I trusted what I felt. And you've done that. I've seen you do that loads of times.
Yeah, but I've got better at it, like, because you say to me all the time, you're not trusting yourself. Because all the time I try and question. I've got better at it, of not questioning it and just going with it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And also, there's some nights if you are psychic, or you do something, you say to somebody, you know what, I've got this, that, and the other, and I'm sensing this, and I'm sensing that, and they go, no. What are you on about? You're like, well, I'm sorry, I've got this, or I've got that, and I've been shown this, and I've been shown. They go, no, I don't know what you're talking about. No, it's rubbish. They might even be really insulting. Go like, go away, you smell of poo. I don't know. Don't be offended by it.
No.
Say, okay, you've done what you were meant to do. You're not serving that person. You're serving what's coming here. And I don't like to say the word serving. I serve nobody. I really don't. They serve me. You know, I'm doing them the favour. They're not doing me a favour. And you see these mediums go, oh, thank you, Spirit, for helping me. Thank you, Spirit, for being there tonight. Thank you. What?
Because it's so true.
It's
All
true.
of these people, it's very true.
Like, oh, thank you, Spirit, for giving me the guidance and the help that I needed to help these people. No. Actually, I'm helping you. You're not helping me. I'm helping you because you interfere with my life all the time, right? And I've got to pass this shit on to people, and that's fine. And I don't mind it because that's what I was born to do, and that's what you were born to do, Jude. But I'm not serving you. I serve no one. I serve myself. But you interfere with my life, and it's like sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just give this message. Just go away.
Yeah, get it out. Get rid of it.
Yeah, it's like artists say, you know what? I had this thing that I had to do, and I had to get it out.
Yes.
And then when it's gone, it's like this feeling of relief. So I always know a fake, because the fakes will always say, oh, thank you for helping me, and thank you. Because it doesn't feel like that. It really doesn't feel like that. It feels...
It's really annoying.
It's horrible sometimes, you know. But if you want to develop your psychic ability and you want to improve what you do, then that's fine. Do it. But remember, there's a cost.
Yeah.
All magic is paid for in this world. And if you do help people and you are there for people, the spirits, etc., passing it on, it's not going to be comfortable.
No.
But that's the path you choose, or has been chosen for you, or both are the same. So to improve your psychic ability, there's many ways to do that, whether it's Xena cards, whether it's practicing with the crystal ball, which we did a podcast on that, didn't we?
And start with the candle is a really good one.
The candle is especially good, basically. Now, what my father used to do, I won't bore you too much, and I still have his clocks. There'd be clocks. There'd be 3 clocks in one room. So there'd be the grandfather clock. There'd be the
I know where you're going. Yes, I've done this.
Clock. There'd be sometimes 4 clocks or 5 clocks, and there'd be clocks in other rooms. It's a house full of clocks. And he'd say, right, we'd all sit in the darkness, and the fire would be on. It was lovely. And he'd say, can you hear the grandfather clock? Yeah. And then he'd say, can you hear the carriage clock on the side there? Yeah. Tick, 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 tick. And can you hear the Vienna? Tick, 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 tick. Yeah. And then he'd say, think about the cuckoo clock. Tick. you know, now think about what's it, and he said, I want you to think about the grandfather clock on the landing.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, when you're hearing those things, do you hear the other clocks? And you're like, no, I don't hear the other clocks. And he'd say, why don't you hear the other clocks? You'd say, because we're listening to that clock. He said, well, that's the same as the spirit world. When you've got voices all taking place around you, you've got to tune in to that voice.
Yeah.
You've got to tune into whatever they're telling you. So he'd say the Vienna, for instance. Now listen to the Vienna, and you'd hear the Vienna. And also the radio would be playing as well.
Yeah.
So you'd be like listening to different things. You said, can you hear the radio? No, I didn't hear the radio, and I was listening for the Vienna. I didn't hear the radio, and I was listening for the cuckoo. So it's all about focusing your attention on different areas.
I've done that before. I've practiced that before with different sounds.
Yeah.
You know, where I've done that, and the clocks is a good one.
Yeah.
But other different sounds where you're just listening to that particular sound.
Yeah.
So it might be like, the boiler's just kicked in the wherever downstairs, so I can hear that specific sound.
You were posh if you had a boiler.
And then and then so certain sounds where you really can. That's the same principle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely. So he'd say to us, can you hear this? Can you hear that? No, can you hear that? Can you hear those two at the same time? Yeah, you could. So it was all about moving your energy.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Focus.
It's your focus, isn't it?
Focus is energy.
Yeah, you too. Yeah.
And that's the same with spirits and psychic stuff. It's really about where you feel you've got to focus that energy.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll get loads of, particularly with the spirits, like you just said. It's like, you know, when you've seen an auction on TV, not an ordinary auction where they're buying old antiques, but when you see one of like a farmer's market,
as opposed to new antiques.
No, yeah. I don't know why it's so proud, because it wouldn't be antique, would they? But I'm tired. But a farmer's auction where the whole like and it's happening so fast.
As opposed to a shoemaker's auction.
Yes. Shut up, you. And where everything's happening so fast. I know I forgot where I'm going with this. And there's all of that noise.
Yes.
There's so much noise. And I've had that before. And I've had that before with the spirit world. And it's really irritating. Because you're like, shut up. And you've got to try and focus on one thing.
Yeah. You hear one voice.
It's hard. Yeah. But you practice that, where you like shut all of that out. It's like if you're in, this is a psychology thing, isn't it? Somebody's cocktail party theory, isn't it? Where they're all in a, I can't remember who it is, and that you're all in a, they called it the cocktail. I think it's cocktail party theory, where you're at a party.
Yeah.
And so obviously everybody's talking at once. Yeah. And you're trying to focus on
what that person is saying. Yeah.
And
we've all done that.
Yeah,
bus stop.
Exactly.
You're like, what are they saying at the back?
What are they saying? Where you're trying to, and you also feel like that with your ear, like just directing it to that place. It's like that.
Same psychic ability.
Yes.
Your psychic ability, or your psychic awareness, you're trying to focus it. It's all about focus. It's all about intuition. Mm-hmm. And if this has made any sense to some people, because it won't, something might be gone over your head, but listen to it again, because it really is important. Yeah. You're always about focusing. You get something, you focus on it. Yeah. Was the clock theory, and that's exactly what you said about something in the room. You're throwing your attention.
Teachers will know this, because teachers will know this, because like, especially if you've got, say you're a teacher of something that's a very active lesson, say a drama lesson or a PE lesson, for example, but it'd be others, and you've got lots of different groups of kids working on different things, and you will know, if you're a really good teacher, you will know this. You can be talking to one group of kids, and you will sort of go, I know that group over there isn't on task, if you like, or they're not concentrating. It's like that you've picked that up and you've gone, I know, I'm focusing on that.
I think it's like that in a lot of things, like nursing homes.
Loads of stuff,
where the patient that always moans that she doesn't feel very well, or the patient that always moans that, I think I'm going to die today. To the guy that sits in the corner and he never says anything, he says, nurse, I don't feel very well. You suddenly go towards that, because that's different. It's the energy's different. So you focus on wards with different patients. Some patients, some patients are like, oh, can I see a doctor? And you're like, yeah, they ask for that like 3 times a day. I want to see a doctor. Yeah, it's kind of, it's all a mixture of like them saying things and also you sensing things. And it's using that and learning to use that, which I think improves your psychic ability.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Seeing shapes and in things as well is quite important. You can see a shape in flowers or curtains or different. We've mentioned scrying. We've done scrying in a different podcast. Go and have a listen to that, because that's really interesting as well. But really what we're saying is trust who you are. And if you want to be a psychic in terms of commercial, in terms of using that ability, you've got to learn to trust who you are.
Because how many times have you said, watching there, gone, I wish I'd listened to my gut. I wish I'd listened to my
everything else
instinct.
tells you, your friends will tell you you're wrong, your mother will tell you you're wrong, but you'll feel something different.
Yeah, you think it doesn't sit right with me or whatever.
What did my grandmother used to say?
I don't know. She said lots of things.
Alarm bells of the soul.
Oh, alarm bells of the soul, yeah.
It doesn't feel right. Something is off.
Yeah, really good
And she'd say, no, she'd sit there, no. The alarm bells of my soul are ringing. So, and you'd been like, Granny, that's a bit harsh. Because I've got another sister, I'm one of 11 children. I've got another sister, and she loves everybody. She's like, oh, they're fine. Or Fred West, oh, he's lovely. Isn't he got lovely hair? And like, his serial killer, oh, is he? Oh,
that's nice.
That's nice. Somebody loved him once. And so she isn't like that, but to give you an example, she could say something like that. But every so often she'll go, I don't like him.
Ah, okay.
Or she'll ring you up and say, I'm not getting the alarm bells of my soul are ringing with this person. And you stop and you think, okay, that's not something, because she thinks everyone's lovely.
Yeah.
But she's a lovely person, but then every so often she'll say something you think, it's usually somebody new that comes into your life, and you think, I'm going to take warning from this, I'm going to take heed of this, and she's always right. They always turn out to be a wrong un. Always turn out to be a wrong un. The fact she thinks Fred West is a lovely man is beside the point.
That's about reading energy as well, isn't it?
And but she thinks everyone's lovely.
Yes, so
But so when she says
that,
she's also a person that dreams things. If I dream something, it's never going to come true. And my dreams have never ever, nor hopefully will they ever come true. I don't have those sort of dreams. But if she rings you and says, I had a dream about you, you stiffen and you think, okay, what's coming? Because whatever she says always happens according to the dream that she had. And that's her thing.
So maybe that's your thing.
Can she read tarot cards? Can she? How?
Right, okay.
Can she read the crystal ball? No, she won't want to do with them. She thinks they're a bit better than she's wearing those earrings. But when it comes to dreams,
that's where her ability.
You stop and you go, that's her ability. You think, okay, what was she going to say? And not so many times. She's only done it probably 5 times in my lifetime. But I always stiffen and think, what's she going to say? And it always comes true to what she says.
Okay.
So
let us know.
Please do.
What you think and whether you feel that you have some sort of psychic ability.
Or let us know what you don't think.
Yeah, we don't mind. No. Yeah. Or if you'd like to know more. I know this is quite it's a broad subject, isn't it, really? It's impossible to cover all the different types of things in one episode. But if you'd like us to cover something specific, either on this topic or on any of the topics we've covered, or any subject that we've not yet covered, then
reincarnation. We've done tarot cards, haven't we? But if you want to know more about that, then that's fine. Whether it's anything really.
Yeah, you can drop us an email.
Numerology. The psychology of the tarot card. Just let us know.
Yeah.
Aliens, alien abductions. Going to be covering
lots of subjects. It's quest.thesearchfortruth@gmail.com, or like us on YouTube, podcasts, Facebook, Instagram, all of those things. Leave us a comment, please, and hopefully you'll join us again next time.
Bye for now.